All right, welcome everyone. We're going to call this commission meeting to order. If you'd all rise for invocation. Commissioner Lotzenheiser, would you lead us in invocation, please?
I shall. Let's bow in prayer. Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for gathering us here tonight. Lord, we just ask a blessing on this county, on this body, Lord, this community that we represent. Lord, we just pause this time of year, and we're just so thankful for what we do have. Lord, allow us to continue to be the stewards of what we have and what we will have into the future. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Remain standing, and we'll do a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you're going to have to bear with me tonight. For some reason, my throat is very dry, and it won't go away. Yeah, I'm that sentimental. Madam Clerk, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Barnes.
Here.
Commissioner Mulder. Commissioner Augustine.
Here.
Commissioner Haskell.
Here.
Commissioner Pearl Wright.
Here.
Commissioner Youngquist. Commissioner Moudry.
Here.
Commissioner Brailer.
Here.
Commissioner Drosha.
Here.
Commissioner Toomey.
Here.
Commissioner Hanson. Here. Commissioner Lotzenheiser. Here. Commissioner Holmes.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers. Chairman Mott.
Here. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No, there are no changes, but I will note that under new business, we had instructed some commissioners about the committee meeting minutes. Under new business, you will approve the December board and the committee meeting minutes from each of your committees. Instead of during your report.
Move the agenda.
Agenda's been moved by Commissioner Toomey, supported by Commissioner Haskell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have the minutes. I have a motion to approve. Moved to, by Commissioner Lotzenheiser to approve the minutes, supported by Commissioner Augustine. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Next up, we have communications. County Clerk, annual report. Diana's not here, so.
You just have to receive the report. That's
Okay,
all.
all right.
Both that
We
and
need,
the Register of Deeds.
We need a motion on that? Just, no.
This is our last chance to grill her.
I know.
I'll move we accept the report. Support.
Okay, so it's been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, we have some recognition resolutions. Can I, first of all, get a motion to move those?
Support.
Commissioner Toomey, you moved it? Okay, Commissioner Toomey moved it and supported by Commissioner Haskell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, before we get to the county resolutions, we have with us this evening State Representative Angela Whitworth, and she has some resolutions.
Hi, everyone. I thought that this year, I've not done this. We started this year in some of the smaller communities, and I decided to move into the county commission to honor all of you for your work. We all know that this is it's kind of a more challenging time in our country, and it's a challenging time in our county too. And you all have done the hard work and worked for many, many years to make our county, I think, one of the most beautiful and one of the ones that we get to stand up and fight for every day. So I wanted to come and honor some of you I'm very close with, Terrence Augustine, and some of you I've learned to be close with. So I really appreciate it. Joe, I really appreciate all the years that you put into. You have fought for our county for a long, long time. So thank you, and I have yours first. So these are State of Michigan tributes. They're really pretty. And they say nice things about all of you. And they are signed, they look like this, so each one of you will get one. And they are signed by myself, by your Senator Sarah Anthony, by Garland Gilchrist, your Lieutenant Governor, and by our Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And I just wanted to come tonight and thank you myself, so I appreciate it. Can I hand them out to you? Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Whitwer. What's that? Oh, okay. All right, first up, we have our treasurer, Mr. Robert Robinson. I used to say Bob, that came out, it sounded different. Come on up. Bob. Whereas Robert Robinson will be retiring from Eaton County on December 31st, 2024. And whereas Robert worked in the treasurer's office as the county treasurer from January 1st, 2013, and is retiring with 12 years of service. And whereas Robert made many improvements to the office of the treasurer by maximizing cash and investment returns, improving efficiencies, and overall modernizing many processes. And whereas Robert proposed the successful creation of the foreclosure governmental unit and the Eaton County Land Bank. And whereas Robert has provided dedicated and honorable service to the residents and employees of Eaton County. Whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners and the people of Eaton County greatly appreciate the years of public service Robert has tirelessly given to his community. Now therefore be it resolved that this Eaton County Board of Commissioners meeting in regular session this 18th day of December 2024 do commend Robert Robinson for a job well done. We wish him well, thank him for his years of dedicated service to the county, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be signed by the chairman of the board and clerk of the county and bear the seal of the county. A copy shall be attached to the permanent records of the county. Thank you, Bob. We really appreciate all the dedicated service and the time and effort for this county and the residents. So please.
It's been all mine. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate the recognition, and it's on my birthday too. So, what a great thing. I have had a tremendous honor and a special privilege, really, for 12 years of being treasurer of Eaton County. And I do believe that the position of elected official is very special. Is very special. The bond that exists between the elected official and his or her constituents, to me, is, well, close to sacred. And I think that serving as a public official is really second only to the ministry. So I hope the people of Eaton County are pleased. We've done a lot with the treasurer's office over the last 12 years. As mentioned by Jim, we moved to foreclose our own properties. That's added hundreds of millions of dollars in taxable value to the county. We've brought in a volunteer income tax assistance program, which helps people get larger tax refunds that they spend, by the way, right here in Eaton County. And we created a new PACE district to help businesses with energy efficiency upgrades. And in true Eaton County fashion, we quickly became the leader in the state of energy-efficient projects. And as Jim mentioned, we formed in 2019, with the support and help of the board, a land bank. And I'm really happy and pleased to inform everybody, we just completed our first major demolition of 3 old, vacant, derelict buildings in Sunfield. It's changed their entire landscape. And as most of you know, we're also looking to take on the mill in Eaton Rapids, which will be cleaned and demolished after 80 years of decline. So some great things that has happened. And, you know, I would like to say nobody owes me anything for any of that. You know, I've had the honor and the privilege, but hey, could I have my staff stand? Could you folks? I'm putting them on the spot now, I'm sorry. These are the folks that have done the work every day, grinding it in, day out, to make sure that I could go out and do these things. And I just want to tell you, how much I appreciate you, and I love you like family. Thank you. And I want to thank especially the Board of Commissioners for all your support over the years. For the times I came in, Blake, with some new idea, waving it around, and you said, okay, Mr. Treasurer, we'll let you do that. And I appreciate, thank you for all your support over the years. And most especially, I want to thank my family. You all know that is the family of an elected official knows more about the sacrifices that are made than anybody else. So for all, my wife Amy and for my kids, for all the empty holidays when I was out doing parades or public events, or the nights that there was an empty space at the dinner table because Dad was out attending a local meeting, and for the tens of thousands of brochures that were put indoors over the years. Thank you, Amy. I love you and I appreciate you. And I wore this special, so I will just end with saying thank you very much, everybody. And if you need to find me, after the first of the year, I'll be out in my new office in Barn. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. You will be missed for sure. Next up, we have Commissioner Brian Lotzenheiser. Come on up. All right, Eaton County Board of Commissioners, December 18th, 2024, resolution of appreciation for Commissioner Brian Lotzenheiser. Whereas Brian Lotzenheiser has served for 10 years on the Eaton County Board of Commissioners from January 1st, 2015 through 24. And whereas Brian served as Chair of the Public Works and Planning Committee and the Health and Human Services Committee. And whereas Brian has also served on the Ways and Means Committee and the Information Technology and Communications Committee. And whereas Brian served the residents of Eaton County with steadfast leadership and a calming presence during his 5 terms. And whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners and the people of Eaton County greatly appreciate the years of public service Brian has tirelessly given to his community. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Eaton County Board of Commissioners, meeting in regular session on this 18th day of December 2024, do commend Brian Lotzenheiser for a job well done. We wish him well, and we thank him for the years of dedicated service to the county, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be signed by the chairman and the board and the clerk of the county, and bear the seal of the county. A copy shall be attached to the permanent records of the county. Thank you, sir.
I'll be brief. I'm the JV team tonight. So, you know, I guess I prided myself on never taking myself too seriously, so I'm not gonna start now. So, it's been great, and I want to thank Connie and her office and John before you, who have just again always do their best to set up this board for success. And I think the clearest message I can convey to any interested in this role, and those of you that are going to continue to serve, is it's quite simple. You have to work together, and you have a little over 100,000 people to serve. Fox News and MSNBC, short of some massive tragedy, are not going to be here. You don't have your own reality show. So don't take yourself too seriously. Serve the people, serve each other, and work together. That's it. That's the job. And I'd like to think I tried to do that for 10 years, and I want to thank my family as well. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Brian. Next up, we have Commissioner Barbara Rogers. We'll take a hug first.
He just wants to get back at me because I hugged all those young guys back there. And all I got
Feel left out.
You calling him old?
to do- Well,
All right, let's get started. Whereas Barbara Rogers has served for 10 years on the Eaton County Board of Commissioners from January 1st, 2015 through 24. And whereas Barbara served as vice chair of this commission from 2023 through 2024. And whereas Barbara served as chair of the Health and Human Services Committee and the Public Works and Planning Committee. And whereas Barbara served on all 5 of the board's committees during her tenure. And whereas Barbara also served and represented this county on the Capital Area Community Services Board of Directors, Human Services Collaborative Council, and many other boards and committees during her 5 terms. And whereas Barbara was a champion of her community, serving as leader through her work in and out of office for the residents of the county. And whereas Barbara is an inspiration, serving with vigor and class as the most senior commission in Eaton County's history. And whereas Barbara I just read that. I could read it twice. Whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners and the public of Eaton County greatly appreciate the years of public service Barbara has tirelessly given to her community. And now therefore be it resolved that the Eaton County Board of Commissioners, meeting in regular session this 18th day of December 2024, do commend Barbara Rogers for a job well done. We wish her well and thank her for the years of dedicated service to the county, and be further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be signed by the chairman of the board and clerk of the county and bear the seal of the county. A copy shall be attached to the permanent records of the county. Thank you.
I guess it's been my privilege and honor to serve as a county commissioner. Some people think I'm crazy because I enjoy doing this, but I enjoy it, and I've enjoyed working with everybody. And I think the results you get from talking to people is how you approach them. You try to be friendly and work on good terms, and I think I learned a lot of that in 4-H. I'll never forget, I just couldn't wait till I was 10 to be in 4-H. And I give Hans Cardell nightmares because I had so many different projects, but we made it. And I went on to be a 4-H leader, and I enjoyed all those years. And I've enjoyed being here, working with you people, and meeting different ones, and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers. We are half done. Next up, we have Commissioner Terrence Augustine.
I am a middle child, so this works out.
Whereas Terrence Augustine has served for 12 years on the Eaton County Board of Commissioners from January 1st, 2013 through 2024. Whereas Terrence served as chairman of this committee from 2019 through 2020. And whereas Terrence served as the Ways and Means Committee and the Public Works and Planning Committee. whereas Terrence also served and represented this county on the E-Tran Board, Tri-County Regional Planning Commission Board, and many other boards of committees during his 6 terms. And whereas Terrence fought for sustainability initiatives, recycling, parks, and recreational access, and served as chair during the challenging times of the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners and the people of Eaton County greatly appreciate the years of public service Terrence has tirelessly given to his community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Eaton County Board of Commissioners, meeting in regular session this 18th day of December 2024, do commend Terrence Augustine for a job well done. We wish him well and thank him for years of dedicated service to the county, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be signed by the chairman of the board and clerk of the county and bear the seal of the county. A copy shall be attached to the permanent records of the county. Thank you so much.
Well, everybody knows I hate to talk, so this will be quick. No, my problem is that these days I can't seem to talk without sobbing uncontrollably, so I try not to. A lot was said so far already that I agree with. You know, I'll start out where Bob ended, and this is probably stupid because this is where I always cry. It's your family, you know? We all know. If you put the time in, if you do the work, it's a commitment. And yeah, your family does, they miss you a little bit. So I'm standing up here today and I'm kind of, I was taken way back to 12 years ago when I attended the December board meeting before I took office. And we've done these resolutions as far as I've known. And I remember sitting here watching my opponent, who I defeated, get a recognition resolution, and I was thinking to myself, boy, that's gonna be real awkward when that happens to me. Fortunately for all of us tonight, none of us actually, well, some of us lost, but none of us lost commissioner races. So, you know, we are leaving at least on our own accord. Doesn't make it any easier though. You know, I've given 12 years of my life to the county. I don't plan on stopping giving time to the county and to the public because that's what I do. Don't tell my wife that I'm gonna jump right back into it because I promised that I won't. And I won't. I'm looking forward to coaching my son's basketball team. I'm looking forward to, you know, doing some, being home on Wednesday nights, which it's been a long time. So, but, you know, Brian, Commissioner Lotzenheiser was correct. You know, I came in here as a 32-year-old firebrand in here. You know, Blake and I, it's funny, Blake and I have a long history. We were golf partners before I was on the board. Both opposite ends of the political spectrum, obviously, at least I thought. And so, you know, I came on board hoping I had somebody to work with. We went through ups and downs. There were times when we all got a little political. And I think, you know, Brian, you referenced that in your speech, and I think that's true. And I think, quite frankly, that's when we got into trouble. That's when we created stuff that didn't need to be created. And, you know, when we work together, as we've done under Chairman Mott's leadership the last couple of years, to come to a solution for the county, I think that's when we do our best. And Barbara's right, it's about the relationships. It's about the relationships around this dais. It's about the relationships with the staff who work so hard to do all the things that we ask them to do. See, we've got the easiest job, even though we've got the commitment. We are just here to give direction, right? The staff does the day-to-day work. All the people out here, all the people on the roads, all the people in the administration office, they're the ones that go through this every single day, and none of us will ever understand that as much as we try to. And so I thank everybody who has worked here in Eaton County. I agree with Angela. I think we have the most beautiful county in the entire state, and I'm happy to be a resident here. And I also would like to take this time to thank Angela as well, because, you know, it's not just the local relationships, it's the relationships at the next level that make a big difference. And everybody around this dais knows what Angela's done for the county over the last 6 years, 8 years. How long have you been in office? Huh? A long time. And it's been great to work with her. Anytime we've needed something from the state, we could make a phone call. She was there. She would do whatever she could, regardless of whether it was me or Jim, a Republican or Democrat. She didn't care. And that's exactly what this county, this state, and this country needs. And so thank you, Angela. Thank you to everybody on the board, and thank you to the staff. And with that, I think I'll end.
Thank you, Terrence. Next up, boy, didn't you have to say your name? He knew. All right. Commissioner Blake Mulder, whereas Blake Mulder has served for 16 years on the Eaton County Board of Commissioners from January 1st, 2009 through 2024, and whereas Blake served as chairman of this commission for 3 consecutive terms from 2013 through 2018, and whereas Blake also served as chair of Ways and Means Committee, and whereas Blake also served and represented this county on the Barry Eaton District Department Board, Tri-County Office on Aging Consortium Board, and many other boards and committees during his 8 terms. And whereas Blake served as a steadfast leader for the fellow commissioners, never backing down from debate, discourse, or bipartisan work. And whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners, the people of Eaton County, greatly appreciate the years of public service Blake has tirelessly given to his community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Eaton County Board of Commissioners, meeting in regular session this 18th day of December 2024, do commend Blake Mulder for a job well done. We wish him well and thank him for years of dedicated service to the county. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be signed by the chairman of the board and clerk of the county and bear the seal of the county. A copy shall be attached to the permanent records of the county. Thank you, Blake.
Thank you, Jim. You know, I have, as a chair, I've stood in the spot and given out dozens and dozens of these, and I never actually consider that I get one myself. And honestly, it's been a good run, and I want to thank all the staff, and most importantly, all the employees here at the county. I do appreciate what you do and how hard you work, and I think, you know, this board will always have your back as they need to. So I'm looking forward to taking a little time off, spending some time with my wife, and thank you for supporting me all these years. Thank you much.
Thank you, Blake. Commissioner Joe Brailer. Congratulations. Thank you much. Whereas Joe Brailer is a longest-serving commissioner, serving for 36 years on the Eaton County Board of Commissioners from December 1988 through 2024. And whereas Joe served as chairman of the commission for 2 consecutive terms from 2007 through 2010. And whereas Joe also served as chair of the Public Works and Planning Committee and the Ways and Means Committee. And whereas Joe also served on and presented this county on the Barry Eaton District Health Department Board, Community Mental Health Board, and many other boards and committees during his 18 terms. And whereas Joe served on several committees and boards, working to improve services and programming aimed at improving the health and quality of life for residents throughout the county. Whereas Joe worked toward broadband and recycling access, championed substance use and misuse support and programming, and fought for sufficient and affordable housing for the residents of Eaton County. And whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners and the people of Eaton County greatly appreciate the years of public service Joe has tirelessly given to his community. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Eaton County Board of Commissioners, meeting in regular session this 18th day of December 2024, do commend Joseph Brailer for a job well done. We wish him well and we thank him for years of dedicated service to the county. And be it further resolved that this copy of this resolution shall be signed by chairman of the board and clerk of the county and bear the seal of the county. A copy shall be attached to the permanent records of the county, carried unanimously. Thank you, Joe. I miss you, man.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for those kind words. I can honestly say that when I first came on this board in December of 1988, I never expected or intended to stay quite so long. In fact, I had an agreement with another gentleman who came on at the same time as I did. He started in January, Dean Doty from Grand Ledge. We were both going to do 5 terms and leave together since we came in together. And that got sidetracked. I have always thought that, and I was raised to believe that every person has an essential dignity or spark about them, and that it is incumbent upon me to recognize that spark and to treat those people with the respect and dignity that they deserve. I was also raised to believe that all of us have a responsibility to make our community a little better for our having been there. I have tried to adhere to those 2 principles my entire life. I have not always been successful, and for that I apologize. Any successes that were obtained in these 36 years were the result of the board's actions and the staff's and the controllers that we had, Jim Stewart, John Fuentes, and now Connie Sobey, and their leadership teams. Any failures were mine and mine alone. I want to thank all of you for the respect that you have shown to me. I want to acknowledge that it has been my greatest honor and privilege to serve on this board and to serve the people of Eaton County. And I thank them for having sent me here for so long. I recognize that there is a very personal response to seeking public office. I cannot think of a more direct way that you are judged than when you put your name out there and you ask the citizens of your district to put their trust in you. I appreciate the fact that my district has trusted me with their interests. There are going to be some difficult times ahead. I am confident because all of the board members that I've served with and I respect have all been united in one thing. They all wanted Eaton County to be a quality place for people to live and raise their families. We may have disagreed on the hows, but we have never disagreed on the what. And so I thank you all and wish you a very good night.
Thank you, Commissioners, and thank you, Treasurer Bob Robinson. We'll, we're going to have comments during the Commissioner portion, comment section. I got a few words I want to say about our resolutions and the Commissioners that are leaving. Next up, we have limited public comment. If you'd like to address the board, we'd ask that you come up to the podium, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes if you can.
Congratulations to those commissioners who have retired, and thank you for your service. I would like to introduce to you 10 of my finest newly graduated deputies. Come on up. Woo! Some fine women and men in this group. 7 graduated from the Lansing Community College. Come on.
Have them come.
Not enough room back there. 7 graduated from Lansing Community College, Mid-Michigan Police Academy, and the 3 graduated from the Kellogg Community College. Very proud of each and every one of them who want to be a member here at the Eaton County Sheriff's Office. Fine group of men and women. I'd like to come up and introduce yourselves to the commissioners, please, and you can be dismissed. They've had a long day. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Hannah Engelwright.
Hello, my name is Tyler Rowden. I grew up here in Eaton County. My name is Jack McCoy. Hi, my name is Micah Waddell.
Good evening. My name is Dylan Dowen.
Hello, my name is Austin Hedis, like lettuce.
Deputy Coddington.
Hello, my name is Marissa Softich. Looking forward to serving in county. Hi, my name is Chelsea Marshall.
My name is Kaylee Bucholtz, and congratulations to everyone tonight who got an award.
Thank you, Commissioners, for giving me this time to have my people come up here and introduce themselves. Our future's here. Thank you. Go ahead. They had a long day.
Thank you and congratulations. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, congratulations on another year of service. Thank you very much. My name is Jason Gilman, resident of Windsor Township. I wanted to address something, hopefully save some money in possible potential litigation avoidance. There was a FOIA request made by Mr. Tim Vetter. Fee appeal was made, and I believe it was done improperly, not following the law. And I just wanted to have you guys possibly reconsider that fee appeal as to possibly stave off any potential litigation. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to approach the board? Any comments? All right. There will be another opportunity toward the end of the meeting. Next up, we have the annual report of the County Treasurer Performance Bond.
Just want me to handle it?
Last official act.
Yes, this is a great action. This is the important action.
This is just a routine piece of business. Annually, the treasurer is required to show the board that a performance bond for the treasurer has been provided. Darius, treasurer-elect, you're all good to go for the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Robinson.
Does this require a motion to receive it at all, or no?
No.
Okay.
Next up, we have committee reports and resolutions. First up, we have Health and Human Services Committee with Commissioner Brian Lotzenheiser.
That's me. Yes, thank you. And I apologize, Connie, just to clear, we do need to move these minutes, or was that something?
We can do it at the end.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, good deal. So I'll not do that right now. Okay. On page 21, you have a resolution to continue on with HSCC. This is the Human Services Collaborative Council. Again, this is basically their blessing. This is not a general fund allocation, but they do operate under our purview, so I would so move it.
Moved by Commissioner Lotzenheiser, supported by Commissioner Pearl-Wright. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Very good. And then on number 3, page 22 of your packet, there's a resolution to approve opioid settlement funding distribution recommendations. Again, this is, our committee's been hard at work for a very long time, and they have done a great job of making some recommendations for these funds. The report is in front of you, and I would so move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Lotzenheiser, supported by Commissioner Brian Drosha. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Very good. That concludes my report.
I would just like-
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So sorry. I would just like to note the reason the medical examiner is not being acted upon. We did an RFP. We received only one bid back, which we had accepted at Health and Human Services. We do not have the contract. They've had a changeover in their contract staff, which happens, and so it just got to legal counsel, and we couldn't bring something here that wasn't prepared, that we had reviewed with our legal counsel.
We do not need to address the minutes.
Do not need to address it, just wanted to
I
explain
wrote
it.
all that down. Sorry, good deal. All right, very good. That officially concludes my report.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Lotzenheiser. Next up, we have Commissioner Barnes with Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We do have two action items on the agenda tonight. I'll start with those. First one is a resolution to approve the Oneida Township Police Service Agreement. That is effective January 1st of 2025 through December 31st of 2025. It's an interlocal agreement, sum of $50,000 for 2025, and I would move it.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Barnes, supported by Commissioner Haskell. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, next, resolution number 2 is to approve the Windsor Township Police Service Agreement. Effective date is the same, January 1st, 25 to December 31st of 2025. Interlocal agreement, sum of $134,570. This is for 80 hours per biweekly for 2025, and I would move it.
Moved by Commissioner Barnes, supported by Commissioner Toomey. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Just some other things, in public safety, obviously, we did pass, or we put out the public safety millage that will go on to Ways and Means, and we'll discuss tonight. Also, I'd like to congratulate telecommunicator Ashley, hope I pronounced this right, Wanacott, for helping deliver a baby girl or a couple days ago. So congratulations to her, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Barnes.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Information Technology and Communications Committee with Commissioner Brian DeRocha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We met on December the 4th and had a very brief meeting, and we had no action items. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner DeRocha. Next up, we have Public Works and Planning Committee with Commissioner Barbara Rogers.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Public Works and Planning met on December the 11th. Marcus Service was present to give the Drain Commissioners a semi-annual report. And Parks and Recreation and Construction Code Planning and Zoning were also present to give reports. We had two action items that were presented by Resource Recovery. One was a resolution to approve contract for household waste, electronics, and battery recycling programs. And another one was, resolution was approved for Eagle Scrap resolution. We also reported there was 2 vacancies on the Road Commission Board created by resignations that were received in December. And I move the approval of the minutes of the Public Works and Planning Committee meeting. Huh? We're not doing that?
That's the audible week.
We're waiting now.
We're going to do that at the end.
We're doing that at the end.
Right?
Yep.
And that concludes my report.
So you have the Eagle scrap tire resolution. Going to move that?
Yes, the resolution to approve the contract for household waste, electronics, and batteries, and tire recycling. Yes, I move those resolutions.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Rogers, supported by Commissioner Lotzenheiser. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And we have one more resolution.
Resolution to approve Eagle Scrap Tire Recycling Grant.
We just did that one.
We did that one?
Yep.
I think she moved them both.
She moved them both.
Oh, did you? Okay,
That's
okay.
what I was, that's my support. My
we
support
did it.
for both was yours.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Rogers. Next up, we have Ways and Means Committee with Commissioner Blake Mulder.
Thank you. I'll move everything.
Taking the lazy way out.
Nope, we have, the first thing is committee appointments. Put it on here so I can see it.
Page 32.
Here it
Just
is.
one appointment.
We had Land Bank with Yvonne Ridge, and I would move it.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Augustine.
We look alike.
Any questions or comments?
We have the same amount of hair.
Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next one is to obligate our ARPA funds. You'll see there a breakdown, and it determined where all the money went. We are obligated to have the monies, if not spent, it has to be determined what they're going to be spent on. So the settlement is right here in front of us, and we still have a little bit of money left over, but it's been, we've determined where it's going to be spent, which is going to be in the drain districts, and a couple other things.
Yeah, this resolution is just to make sure that everyone understands where the money has been allocated. Previously, the way that it was done was a listing that you received and not in a formal resolution.
Yeah.
What this resolution does not do is serve the purpose of obligating the remaining funds.
Okay.
That's what the next resolution, the MOU that we're doing, will obligate those funds legally through the ARPA requirements.
Thank you for that clarification. 'Cause this is different than what we looked at. We looked at kind of the whole, where they all came from, where it all went. This is just where it went. And I would move it.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
So the next resolution is what was left of the ARPA funds, and it's the MOU of where we're going to spend it, which is with the drain project in Delta Township. So, and this money is going to go essentially, Connie, explain it.
So,
It's important that you understand that this is going to be for the betterment of all the citizens in Eaton County, as well as this.
yes, we had received, if you remember, state funding of $5 million. That portion of the funds will come off the top of the entire project, which that savings will be spread toward everybody within the district and the county road commission, Delta Township. This fund, we will use to take off the top of what the county will owe, because the county will end up making a payment over 30 years. It is becoming costly with respect to the drainage districts and the obligation that the county has to fund those. So the best use of this fund at this late date would be to ensure that we are not paying more than we need to over the course of that 30-year period.
And I would move it.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Mudry. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
The next is the interim agreement for the operation of the youth facility. This is an annual agreement that we do, and I would move it.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
The next one is resolution establishing commissioner compensation and mileage reimbursement and compensation for non-commissioner members on the appointed committees, effective January 1, 2025. And as you know, we can't set our own rates of what we're being paid, but we can set that of the next group that's coming in, and that's how it's done, so I would move it.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Augustine. All those, any questions or, yes.
Yeah, just briefly, just to make sure everybody understands that it's the same compensation. There's no increase in compensation for commissioners.
Yep.
Correct.
No change. I should have said that.
That's all right. I thought somebody might ask, so.
Any other comments, questions? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Next one are the budget amendments, and I would move them.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Brayler. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next one is a resolution, we go from little things to big things. This one is the resolution for a county-wide millage proposal for public safety for 2 mills. And I'll move it, and then we can have discussion, I think.
It's been moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Lotzenheiser. Before we get into discussion, I want to, I think I've talked to most of you today, or communicated some way. I would like every commissioner to comment on this. This is very important, so we should not be taking this lightly. When the tax limitation millage failed, I went around to a lot of you and got your thoughts on the possibility of a dedicated public safety millage. So it appears there was enough interest to bring it to the board and have discussions, and so that's what we are doing. And the reason I wanted to do that is because you saw 10 cadets just come up here. The work that it took to get those 10 cadets in that school was a lot. And if you were been paying attention, it's very difficult for any police department of any municipality to hire new cadets in law enforcement. It's very difficult. And the fact that we have 10 and would put our police or our sheriff's department practically back at full force is tremendous. And it's a actual gift, I think, that we've been given. And I think the public would look at this and a little differently than the tax limitation. That tax limitation language, we all know, was a barrier. Many people didn't understand it. It was difficult to shift through, and it really wasn't our fault. We had to follow the state's guidelines, and that language came directly from the state. And a lot of people didn't vote for it, and a lot of people didn't even mark the box because they just didn't understand. So we got a lot of that feedback from the public. The dedicated millage failed by a little under 3%. That's about 1.5% sway one way. If it got 1.5%, it would have been a different scenario we've been facing. So in my opinion, that wasn't a huge mandate by the public or a resounding no. So my recommendation was going back to the public for a dedicated public safety millage for the Sheriff's Department, Road Patrol, County Prosecutor's Office, and Animal Control. Prosecutor Lloyd and his office have been struggling for a long time as well. And so we need some help. And so we're looking to the public to look at this and see if this is something they would want. So I want to open it up to everyone here, and we want to hear from everyone. I'll start with Commissioner Barnes, and we'll just go around. If you don't want to say anything, they pass, or if you want to hear from the rest of the board first, we can come back to you. But if you don't mind, Commissioner Barnes, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. What happens when you have no public safety? You will likely experience a significant rise in crime, more widespread fear and anxiety among citizens, potential breakdown of social order, and a lack of trust in authority, leading to a chaotic and potentially dangerous environment for individuals and communities. Essentially, a situation where people would not feel safe going about their daily lives due to lack of law enforcement and protection from criminal activity. Economic disruption. Businesses and individuals might be less willing to invest or live in Eden County. Vulnerability or vulnerable groups. Elderly, children, marginalized communities would be at risk without adequate protection. You also have the lack of emergency response. Essential services like fire and EMS response could be significantly impacted without a coordinated public safety system. This also affects the prosecutor's office in determining which crimes they will prosecute if we don't have the proper staff to fulfill their needs. I know some say the timing's too quickly. I don't think this is something we can kick the can down the road like we've done in some other things in the past. I think we have to get it out there. I think most of the meetings that I attended a lot of people said, why wasn't there a public safety millage? They may have been for that, but not for the general fund. And I understand there's, 33 different departments in the county, and it's all very, very important. But if you don't have public safety, then you have a fundamental breakdown of society, and then it won't matter what is below it. It needs to be at the very top. So I hope, Commissioners, that you vote to pass this public safety millage tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well, Mr. Chair, I worked a lot on the previous tax limitation, and I was saddened that it didn't pass, but honestly, it was complicated and the public didn't understand it. Commissioner Barnes said, kick the can down the road, and that is what we did as a commission for much of my tenure. And the time has come when we just need more money. And quite honestly, I've said that I did not want to make policy for the next board, but timing is the issue here. I think if the next board doesn't want to do this millage, they can rescind it. And if that's what they feel, but I don't hope they wouldn't. We're doing it in this cycle only because of the timing of the elections and the timing when you have to have language done for ballots. And it made more sense for us to advocate for this millage at this time. So I will support it.
My turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to do something I never do, and it's mostly because I've made my feelings clear about how I feel, the challenges of this millage, and the questions that I would have as the next board. But I really am here tonight and am very interested to hear what the returning commissioners have to say. So I'd like to answer. If I could, I'd like to respond after I hear that, as the person who's done in 13 days. So,
Commissioner Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had the pleasure of speaking with you and staff quite a bit today, and I will be supporting this and voting in favor of it. I do still have a lot of concerns moving forward. I don't feel like we or the public has a good idea of what we're missing between the 3 mills we went for and the 2 yet, and what that sacrifice is going to be. I think with the next board coming in, it would make sense to have some sort of reaffirmment of support, even with the date set moving forward, even if it's a toothless resolution, something that says that the new board understands what's at stake. And maybe at that point in time, we can have a better understanding of what the sacrifices are going to be. That being said, my community in Delta Township supported the 3 mills. I'm confident that they'll support the 2 mills as well. They understand what's at stake, and I will be there with them supporting it.
Commissioner Pro-Wright.
Hi, tonight I'll be voting no. When we had the 3 mills on the ballot, I took a lot of time and listened to the people through Facebook messages, texts in my driveway, whatever. I supported it, and I supported it with them and told them to look at our website to gather information and use the calculator. And so this time I am going to vote no on the 2 mills because I feel that it's too soon to put it back on the ballot. I was here before in 2010 when we put the E-Tran right back on the ballot, and people were not happy. So this time I'm going to listen to the voters that did come to me. So.
Thank you. Commissioner Moudry.
When it comes to public safety, the people in my district voted for the last millage. Delta Township has always been supportive of public safety. Today, I was at a meeting. Matter of fact, Jeannie Pearl-Wright, Commissioner Wright was there, and I was with Brian Reed. And we looked out the window, and out the window was the new Delta Patrol facility. Beautiful facility. I haven't seen the inside. The outside is pretty nice. Okay. And saying that, Brian said, you know, Delta supports public safety. And there's little doubt there. But my district supported it. Matter of fact, every precinct in my district but one, it lost, one precinct, the vote was lost by 22 votes. So, but in good conscience, I've got to follow the Delta voters, and I will be supporting this.
Commissioner Brayler.
I spoke extensively at the Ways and Means Committee meeting. I don't really think I need to go through all of that again. I have some real concerns that this is, by putting it on the May ballot of 2025, the turnout will be so poor that your chances of success are slim. And I really think the county needs more revenue. There's no question about that, or shouldn't be a question about that. And I think this is going to be your last shot. And so I'm concerned that, frankly, you're going to waste it. Also, I think it needs to be said that the county's financial problems go further than just the public safety. Everybody in the meetings that I went to in regards to the prior millage request highlighted public safety. But we have a number of departments here. We have 400 employees here. We have people who have invested their lives and their families here. And we do a lot more services than public safety. And my other concern, quite frankly, is this is too little. It will not solve the county's problems. And there will be attendant cuts to other services and perhaps even to the sheriff's department at some point. So I think it's too soon and too little. Having said that, I supported it in Ways and Means. I'll support it tonight because I'm not going to be here next year. And the people who are going to be here, primarily Chairman Mott, who I respect a great deal for the work he's done these past 2 years, thinks he needs this. He needs this potential piece for his toolbox. And so I will agree to give him this piece. But I caution everyone that even if this is successful, you are not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. There will still be hard times because I was concerned, quite frankly, that the 3 mills weren't going to be enough for the infrastructure and all of the other things that we see coming down the road. But I will support it because I've been asked to, and it's the people who are taking on the responsibility of responding to the situation as they will find it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DeRosa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will support this. I do agree with Joe, it may not be enough, but I'm optimistic. My family's been in Eaton County for over 60 years. I love this county. I don't intend to move from it. But in order to attract other people into our county, we got to make sure that we've got a safe county. We've got some nice parks, but without our road patrol, without our public safety, we cannot convince people to move to Eaton County, and we won't gain more revenue without more residents. So nobody likes to pay additional taxes. I don't. Having grown up on a farm, I understand the farmer mindset to taxes. I get it. But by the same token, it's comforting to drive down the roads of Eaton County and see a sheriff vehicle coming towards you because you know somebody's on patrol, somebody's watching, somebody's going to be there. I happen to live right north of a corner that's pretty active accident-wise, And it never ceases to amaze me that people think that, and I've got to believe this is what's going on, but people think, well, there's no road patrol, so the speed limit must now be 70. I don't get that mindset. You're terrorizing your neighborhood, and because we don't have road patrol, you think you can get away with it. And I would like to see more road patrol, not only in our sheriff's department, not just road patrol, but our prosecuting attorney's office, our courts, everything else that goes along with public safety. This isn't just about road patrol, but it's about our public safety, and we need this. And I fully support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Toomey.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to say in the beginning that I, like many others, have concerns about the proposal before us tonight. I've been wrestling with how I'm going to vote on this for a little bit of time, and this plan is not perfect, and it has shortcomings that we can't ignore. However, leadership at this county is going to require us to make difficult decisions, and after considering the circumstances that the county is in, I'm going to be voting yes on the proposal. And to give a little bit of insight why, this plan might feel a little rushed, imperfect, but it does address immediate and urgent needs in the community. Our residents are counting on us to take action, and this proposal, despite its flaws, gives us a path forward. Refusing to act now would leave our community in the same position of financial instability, and a vote against this proposal means delaying solutions further. I'm not really willing to gamble with the safety and well-being of the people we serve in the meantime. I want to be clear that I have serious reservations that I have expressed about how the Ways and Means Committee will manage the funds. I think over decades we've seen a history of mismanagement, and I will be watching closely to ensure that the money is used efficiently, effectively, and with full accountability to the taxpayers if they approve it. And it is true that 6 new board members are going to take their seats in a couple of short days. But I do believe that we can't allow that transition period to paralyze the progress that we need to make. The financial problems that this county has demanded action in November, and they certainly demand action now, not weeks or months down the road. So it will be the responsibility of the next board to improve upon and refine this plan, and I trust that they're going to take that job seriously. And you know, I think Commissioner Brayler said it very well, and we need to be honest with everyone. This proposal does not solve the larger structural issues that we face. It's not a silver bullet, and it's not the final step, but it is a step in the right direction for the county, and it gives us a starting point to tackle the bigger issues that lie ahead. So for too long, previous boards have failed to take action, and that has left us in the financial mess we face today. This is a good moment to break that cycle. And this vote is not about kicking the can down the road. It's about buying us the time and the stability we need to address the root causes of these problems. And I do want to emphasize that public safety is too important for this board to get it wrong. If this proposal passes, I will be relentless in ensuring that the funds are managed responsibly and transparently. The hardworking people of the county deserve nothing less. And I'd like to cast my vote with caution, accountability, and a little bit of hope. It's not going to, be so weary and dreary in the future. So action's better than inaction. I believe that this board and the next one has a responsibility to make this government work. Public safety will be a part of that, and our community deserves a long-term, sustainable solution. And this proposal, while far from perfect, can be a good foundation for that work. I'll hold myself and this board accountable to ensure that we deliver on that promise. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hanson.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will be supporting this millage. I supported the last one, even though the residents of my district are primarily farmers in rural areas that own anywhere from 100 to thousands of acres that would have been big hit on their expense account for the millage, but I will continue to push forth the need that we have. I know Commissioner Rogers always mentioned that this is a need, not a want, and we're at that time in the budget process that we have to move forward and put this proposal back on the ballot in May. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lotzenheiser.
I'll be supporting this. Not a lot left to say. Appreciate the previous comments that have been made. We're at a incredible crossroads. Definitely have a lot of doubts on this being enough and the right amount. However, it is a path forward, as Commissioner Toomey said. So again, I won't belabor the point, but I will be supporting it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Holmes.
Yeah, I would say that in the end, I reluctantly support this for obvious. In my district, as Commissioner Hansen said, will be the biggest hit. But overall, I seen the time spent by the financial work group, the tax limitation advisory committee, and all the department heads that brought us information of where we're at. It's, as I pointed out, not a want, but a need to sustain the county government. As we went around to township meetings and the staff was there, I noticed one, what I consider the treasurer, somebody who works with numbers, and their original comments was, how do we get from, say, 1.3 shortfall to, in a couple, 3 years, like, who knows how much? And after it was explained as the staff explained it, you could see the whole mood change, her ideas and what she understood. So I think with getting the information out there, which we tried to do previously, but work more on that. And one resident specifically said, from what I told them, is why they voted yes, even though, you know, they have some acreage, not a lot, but as one mentioned, I think Commissioner Toomey, about what the comments have been about setting policy for the next board. I think if we don't take some action, that is policy set for the next one, not to take action as soon as they should or could. I mean, you're playing against the competition is all the negatives that we've heard. Is it enough or not enough? That'll probably always be there. So I think I reluctantly will support this for the good of all the county, looking beyond my one district and what's good for the entire county, 100 and some thousand, I guess the numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Rogers.
I will be voting yes, because I think this is a need, it's not a want. It's a need, and we need police protection, and because with those young men and women that are on the sheriff department go out every day and put their life on the line for us, and we need to support them, and I will be voting yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Augustine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I won't belabor this too much. I made quite a few comments at Ways and Means. My opinion has not changed at all. You can put me in the Joe Brailer camp. I've got a lot of reservations. Mostly, I understand that the county needs additional revenue. Some of us have been saying that for years and years, and while I take responsibility for not getting it across the finish line, there just wasn't support in the past. And so, you know, we did what we thought was right this last election, and what we thought we needed. I have some serious concerns about 2 mills not being enough to not only to address the entire county's problems, but public safety itself. I think my concern is that there's going to be potential cuts, as Commissioner Baerler said, that are going to happen unless we get additional revenue from another source in the coming years, and it's very unlikely that public safety would be immune from those cuts going forward just because of the amount of the budget that they currently take. I also have always shared concerns about dedicated millages that don't generate enough revenues to cover the entire use, such as public safety. Obviously, 2 mills is not enough money to cover all of public safety in Eaton County. And so I have concerns about what future boards could potentially do to move money around and end up not benefiting public safety. And I think that's misleading to the taxpayers if we went that route. I voted no in committee. I shared with the group that I feel as a commissioner with just under 2 weeks left, that it's not our role to do this at this point. We have a new board that's coming on, and one of the things that was so important with this last millage was that we had as many people on board as we could. When Chairman Mott and Commissioner Brailer and Commissioner Mulder and I sat down when Commissioner Mott took over as chair, we knew how important it was to get not only a majority of the board to support a millage request, but as many as possible and hopefully unanimous. We didn't think that we were going to get, I didn't think that we were going to get a unanimous vote. There's not a lot of difficult choices at this county that do get unanimous vote. And so I was very impressed with that, and yet it still failed. And so, I understand the language was difficult, and I agree with that. I think that created problems. And my plan tonight was to vote no on this, because if I were a new commissioner coming in, I would want a lot more questions to be answered and would want to spend some more time on it. Joe's right. I think you may only get one more shot at this. And, an off-election or an off-year election obviously costs the county money, so I find it highly unlikely that a board would be willing to do this in May and then go back and do something different in August. So I think this is the only shot that this board will likely have for at least a couple of years. And so it is extremely important that as many commissioners that can will support this. And so sitting here tonight, I have done my counting, and it's clear to me that there are a majority of returning commissioners that support this request. So if we were to say, next board, this is up to you to make the decision, there's already a majority. So therefore, I will be voting in support of this, in support of the chairman, as Commissioner Brailer has said, and in support of the upcoming board. I just caution, even though this is a defined public safety millage, you still have ambiguity problems. You still have to work, and by you, I'm talking to the next board, the new commissioners and the returning commissioners. You're still going to have to work very hard to be able to define what public safety and the county is going to look like after this millage. If you want people to vote in the affirmative, I think that work has to be done. And you have to do it over the next 5 months in order to get the residents to understand what they're voting on, which I do believe was part of the reason that the previous millage question failed. So I do want to address one more thing too. I agree with most of what has been said around this dais tonight, but one thing I take extreme liberty with is the fact that this board, quote, mismanaged funds, okay? I've been on this board for 12 years. I've seen several chairmen. We've not always disagreed. Some of us had wanted to go out for revenue sooner than others, and maybe we've disagreed on how, as Joe said, to get to the same place. But I've not met a commissioner on this board that has mismanaged funds or tried to mismanage funds. That whole concept, that language, it's ridiculous. It just feeds into a narrative that it doesn't exist. It's the kind of thing that's going to get the next millage defeated as well. So I just encourage people that if you truly think that there was a quote-unquote mismanagement of funds over the last couple of decades, please come to the table with some facts. Otherwise, quit calling it a mismanagement of funds, okay? Sometimes you just need more revenue. Sometimes the expenses grow more than the revenues do. And that's what's happened in this case. Yes, there could be a debate as to whether the board waited too long. That's an absolute debate. But there is no debate in my mind as to whether the board or any staff mismanaged funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I wanted to read the resolution because I think it warrants for this. And I was going to do it before we started discussion, but that's fine. I'll read it now. Whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners has determined that maintaining and enhancing current levels of public safety paid for by the county government is essential to the quality of life and economic future of Eaton County. And whereas the specific public safety service desired to be maintained and enhanced include Sheriff's Road Patrol and Specialty Services, and staffing and resources for the Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and staffing and resources for Animal Control. And whereas the county board has determined that it is necessary to seek a millage for the purpose of averting reductions in public safety in Eaton County. And whereas without this millage, major service reductions will occur. And whereas Article 9, Section 6 of the 1963 Michigan Constitution authorizes Eaton County Board of Commissioners to place upon the ballot a request for additional millage on the taxable valuation of all property in the county of Eaton. Therefore, be it resolved that the following question may be placed on the ballot for consideration of the electorate on Tuesday, May 6, 2025, and that the form of the question shall be as follows. For the purposes of maintaining and enhancing public safety functions for the citizens of Eaton County in the areas of staffing and resources for the Prosecuting Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Road Patrol Services, and staffing, facilities, and services for animal control, shall the limitation on the amount of taxes that may be imposed on taxable property in Eaton County be increased at the rate of up to 2 mills, $2 per $1,000 of taxable value, for a period of 10 years, being 2025 through 2034 inclusive. And it is estimated that 2 mills would raise approximately 10 million, excuse me, that would no. $10,058,494 in the first year of levy. Be it further resolved that this question is hereby certified to the county clerk. Be it further resolved that the county clerk is hereby directed to cause the proposal to be stated on the May 6, 2025 ballot and to be prepared and distributed in the manner required by law. So with that, I'm going to ask that we have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Barnes.
Yes.
Commissioner Mulder. Yes. Commissioner Augustine.
Yes.
Commissioner Haskell.
Yes.
Commissioner Prowright.
No.
Commissioner Mudry.
Yes.
Commissioner Brailer.
Yes.
Commissioner Drosha.
Yes.
Commissioner Toomey.
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson.
Yes.
Commissioner Lotzenheiser.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers. Yes. Chairman Mott.
Yes. Okay, I'll wait for you. Count. For the vote.
Yes. 14 to 1. 13 to 1.
13 to 1.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. With a vote of 13 yeses, 1 no, the resolution passes. Okay, I think we're back to Ways and Means.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Mulder?
Thank you so much. We had a couple closed sessions in Ways and Means. The result are some motions. I move to approve the recommendation by Ways and Means to adopt the recommended settlement agreement with the unions who filed a grievance related to the coverage of GLP-1 drugs through December 31st, 2024. This includes authorizing the Controller's Office to explore and offer this same settlement to other employee groups who may have been impacted by the change.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Augustine. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Second item in closed session, I would move to approve the recommendations by the Ways and Means to adopt a settlement agreement with personnel in the drain office, and I would move it.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Also, we have bills to pay. I'd move them.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Haskell. Any questions, comments? See none? All those in,
Can we go through them line by line?
oh my, God.
I'm not ready to step, no, I'm just kidding.
I get the source code for the payment.
Barbara's pies are on the other side of the door. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
That completes my report, Mr. Chair.
And a very long report it was, too.
A little longer than Brian's.
Thank you, Commissioner Mulder. All right, next up, we have the administrator's report. Controller Sobey.
Thank you. I first want to say thank you to all of you that are here. We've seen more participation, I think, this year than we have ever seen, whether it's regarding a ballot proposal or just your interest in government in general. We appreciate it. I like to see it. I love to watch the number of views that we have on YouTube. It's impressive. And whether it is our employees that are participating and watching because they can't be here, or it's general public, it's important, and I think it's been a good thing for us. So thank you. I also want to recognize significantly the stress that our county employees have been under. Over the last year, you all have sat here and had to make decisions and talk about the budget and talk about future budgets, all while they're terrified. So I appreciate the work that they continue to do while they're afraid. They're the ones that keep the county functioning. It's not this board, they're the decision-making body, but the people who are serving you as residents are the employees of the county. And that should be noted significantly. We see it every day in our office. So I appreciate all of you. To all of the county officials and to the department heads, thank you for everything that you did this year. All the work that we did under our executive team, amazing. We have a great group. It's been a very long haul for all of you. You've provided stability within your offices, which right now has been extremely difficult. Again, I see it in my office, but every day we work on the budget. Every day we're dealing with things that are affecting employees and the county. But you're dealing with your office and the uncertainties, whereas I'm sitting in my office working on how to manage those uncertainties. So I appreciate it, personally appreciate every one of you. On a good note, for those of you that are not aware, the county does a Christmas Adopt-A-Family. We've adopted families from Siren Eaton Shelter. This was our 37th year. We have always had amazing participation. This year we had 4 families that served 13 members in their families. It was interesting this year. We had a last rush to get gifts for these families. And I have to give a shout out here to Brandy Miller, who works in zoning, planning and zoning enforcement and construction code. She went around and I think she twisted arms. There may have been some things we don't want to know about that she did, but she went around and she got close to $700,000. She had a friend that was able to go out that day and do shopping. Phenomenal, but phenomenal work and support by the employees to serve the citizens and the individuals that need services and assistance most. So I appreciate it, and I'm proud of our county for that. Now on to the board. You placed a ballot proposal that was all of you united. It didn't fail, or it didn't pass. Darn, I wish it was. It didn't fail. It didn't pass, but it showed how thoughtful you were in your decision making. And I can echo Commissioner Augustine when he said, there was not mismanagement of the funds. That would rest with my office giving you bad information, not questioning the information that you're given. That's not what's occurred. Kicking the can down the road, as we've heard, yes, we can agree that we should have done this sooner. I said when I came to be the controller that I would push, and I said that in my interviews, I'll address that in my interview, I'll address that in a minute. We have to make sure that you get this information. I have a great staff right now that is dedicated to getting information to this board. I've said to you for the last 2 years, come to me, ask me questions, send emails, ask the chair of your committee, ask the chair of the board what you need from me, what you need from my staff. Any decisions that were made have been continuation budgets. It's just that. That's all we've been able to do. Revenues are not growing, expenses are growing. You can talk to every department as they operate. It is growing. That's the issue. As to the 2 mills, I do want to say the same. I do have concerns that that's not enough. There is a concern. The county did not seek 3 mills under the tax limitation proposal just because we wanted money. We sought those so that we could ensure that we had strong infrastructure, strong public safety, a strong community. So I appreciate this board for having been united in passing that and wishing that it would have passed. It was a miserable night for those of us who were actually at my place trying to celebrate. Now, I think this is, and I want everybody to realize, and the public and on this board, I've been here for a very long time, and this is historic in the number of commissioners that are leaving. There are 6 commissioners leaving, and I did the math without the assistance of Commissioner Brailer, who is he's my mathematician. 86 years of experience. And it's significant. It's significant to me. It results in teaching new board members, which we will be doing. We do have strong leadership with Chairman Mott, and I appreciate that. He's ready to continue to work with all commissioners from everything that he has learned. I think we've made a really good team over the last 2 years. He's nodding. You just can't see it right now. It's difficult for me to see that experience go. But it's also exciting to see new people come on a board to learn and who are enthusiastic. We had some of the members come in and meet with us. They sat down with our finance director. They went through trying to understand why 3 mills were put on the ballot. That's what we appreciate. Again, I will emphasize, it's important that you're asking the questions. It's important that you're grilling me. That's what I'm here for. I'm your information person. I'm the one that you get what you need, and you challenge me to be able to be good decision makers. And I think you've done that. 6 of you leaving, I know quite a bit about your decisions, and I appreciate the things that you have done for this county all this time. Commissioners Brailer, Mulder, and Augustine have been chairs of this board. You are losing 3 chairs, previous chairs of this board. Significant. Out of 7 members on committees, you are losing 5 from Ways and Means. 5 very experienced members, 3 of which, again, are board chairs. Significant. Under our Public Works and Planning, which does a lot of business that some people may not know, it's significant that you're losing 6 members. And on Health and Human Services, Commissioner Lotzenheiser's favorite, you're losing 4. So this is starting new, and it's learning, and the members that are remaining are the teachers and the advocates for the county, and I think that we're going to rely on you. So again, come to me with questions. I've learned a lot from all of you. Your experience, your guidance, your life experience, what you bring to the table, the challenges that I've experienced from all of you, whether it's you yelling at me because you didn't get the right information. Yes, Commissioner Augustine, I see you laughing. But you've done your work. You've challenged us. I appreciate the guidance. I appreciate the leadership. I can say a lot about all of you. I'll keep it brief. I would start by looking at Commissioner Mulder and Augustine, because one of the best decisions you made was to make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners, along with Chairman Mott, that I would be in this role. So, thank you so much for that. Hopefully, I've made you proud, at least a little bit at a time. But you have both come into my office as past chairs over the years when I was deputy, come in and ask me questions. I can remember when Commissioner Augustine started on the board. You came in and you sat down and we went line by line over budget, the financial statements and understanding it. That's admirable. That's somebody who really does want to make change and wants to understand. And you did note for years that we needed more revenue. You all have noted that sitting here. We know that's an issue. So thank you, both of you, for that. Commissioner Lotzenheiser, because you tend to want to be silly and have fun, like you said. You said it tonight, so I can say it. On Ways and Means, I always sat over there, and he had direct sight to me. And he would look at my face to see if he needed additional information. He did. He would look at my face and he would. Yeah, I know. But he would look and he'd be like, I think Connie has something to say. So, and usually I did. Usually I did. But I appreciate that. Also appreciate the leadership that you have shown. You're just so much common sense and consideration for what this board does and what the public needs. I appreciate that. Commissioner Rogers, you are the mentor that I love. It's amazing to me. Very supportive of me, which I appreciate. But also you talk about how I should dress. So yes, she did. We've had many conversations about how professional. So whenever I get together, see her, if she tells me that I look good, I know I've done my job. And if you would note tonight, I am wearing all black with red. She is wearing all red with black. Yeah, amazing. But she calls me a lot. She asks questions. She wants to understand what's going on. And again, I can't appreciate that anymore. But thank you so much for everything. Now I have to go to Commissioner Brailer, who sits next to me and used to sit next to me when I sat over there as deputy, and ask me questions. And then I wouldn't know what was going on because I was answering questions. Good questions all the time. You and I started here the same year. I started in July of '88, and he started in December of '88. And I remember you from when you came in for your first meeting and orientation. We've kind of grown up together, right? I know I look older than you, but it's an optical illusion. But you've always provided guidance, and you did go through an extremely difficult time as board chair and dealing with financial crisis that the county was having. And year after year after year, you have said we needed to do something. So whether or not things were able to get done because maybe you didn't have the votes, maybe you weren't able to pass something, you've always been committed to improving the county in all areas of the county. And I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone and all the work that they did. And I'm sorry I was so long. I said I'd be short, but this is a big historic day, losing 6 members. Thank you all so much. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Controller Sobey. That was very nice.
That's a star.
Okay, next up, we have commissioner comments. So is there any commissioners that would like to say a few words? Commissioner Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too want to kind of say a few words about some of the colleagues leaving tonight, and not to diminish the entire list of that we have before us. I want to pick out three in particular, starting with our very fine treasurer, Bob Robinson. I have had the pleasure to get to know many of these people in different capacities. I'm the former chair of the Eaton County Democratic Party, and I met some of you that way. Before that, I worked on various different campaigns for Mark Schauer and Teresa Abed, and bumped into each other knocking doors that way. And I've been able to be deskmates and colleagues at this level as well. And with Bob in particular, we've spent probably hundreds, maybe thousands of hours on the phone, especially when I was the chair of the Eaton County Dems. And I think you kind of mentioned it yourself in your speech about being the idea guy, the one that comes in and has the crazy idea. And I've always greatly appreciated that about you. In fact, while I worked at the legislature, you and I were able to kind of team up and do a foreclosure town hall. As a legislative assistant at the time who had, I don't know, one in every 2 or 3 cases that every time I picked up the phone with somebody that was at the threat of losing their house, all I had to do was hint at the suggestion of wanting to do a town hall, and you were there with your staff, making sure that those resources were known to the constituents, of Eaton County, and thank you so much. I'll never forget it. Joe, I thank you so much for teaching me, both as a commissioner and even as the former chair of the Dems. I've never met anyone in my life that can walk into a room where there's such a serious conversation. And even if people are throwing accusations back and forth, you can sit down, and when you speak, people listen. And they really take it to heart. And I've witnessed it both, at the Dems meetings in the back of the logjam and right here in this boardroom. And it's, I think it's something that's going to be missed on this board. So thank you. And then obviously my good friend Terrence here. Every single one of those professions and even friend events, you've been there for me. And even down to putting faith in me as a brand new commissioner chairing my own committee. So thank you for that. I don't think Eaton County would have done as well as it did during the pandemic without your leadership. And it was a very weird position to be in, to become an elected official and then have to make all those various decisions, and you made it look incredibly easy. So thank you for your leadership. But that's it. There's just 3 people I've had a lot of contact with over the years, and I appreciate you all very much.
Anybody else? Yes, Jeannie, Commissioner Rowe-Wright.
I would like to back up a lot of what Brandon has said here. But I came from a different direction. The reason I actually sit here is because I was a member of the Eaton County Democratic Party since the 90s, and I remember Joe coming and giving us updates on the board. So in 1998, I put my hat in the ring and lost. But I never gave up after that, because by then I had been a certain level of commitment. So because of Joe, I'm here. And then I can move on to Terrence. And I met Terrence on Bob Robinson's campaign, but we also had some good conversations at the Grand Ledge Big Bee. And so we both lost on November 2010 in Terrence's kitchen.
Thanks for the reminder, appreciate it.
We were sad, I'm sorry, but you went on to win, and I went on to lose again. But I mean, all these people, Bob, Terrence and Joe have really played a major part in my learning my job. Terrence, with his finance background, helped a lot explain things to me of questions that I had. And Bob has always been unique. Whatever Bob does, he seems to succeed. So he's a great friend. So thank you all for helping me through this and learning as much as I have. Appreciate it.
Very good. Commissioner Holmes.
Yeah, maybe this is, I hear a lot, looking around this room and the residents, but somewhere in my mind, I always looking out and I notice, recently there's some 200+ bills they're trying to get through the state legislature in the lame duck session. And for all of us to make sure we monitor that affects the county, unfunded mandates or whatever happens to be, but not maybe be so concentrated just on Eaton County, but keep track of more what's coming towards us, down the road or short-term or long-term, maybe even a federal level, I don't know. Farther up you go, the less effect you can have, I know. Thank you.
Anybody else? Commissioner Moudry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When I was speaking on the public safety millage, I kind of stammered and thought, but because I had a story I wanted to tell, okay? And I'm going to tell it now. This is a true story about Hank and Bertha. The names were changed to protect the innocent. So it seems that Hank would do the grocery shopping, and he would go to the store and he'd get a pound of ground meat. He'd bring it home. Bertha would fix the meals with it. Well, Bertha and Hank had their first child. Hank went to the store and got 1 pound of ground beef. And Bertha fixed the meals and everything was okay. Well, down the road, they had a couple more children. And Hank was going to the store to get the groceries, and Bertha stopped him. She says, hey, Hank, how much ground beef are you going to get? He says, oh, I'm going to get the usual 1 pound. Bertha says, well, Hank, that 1 pound worked when you and I got married, and it worked okay when we had the first child. She says, but now we have a family of 5, and 1 pound of ground meat just doesn't cut it anymore. She says, really? She says, how much do you think I ought to get? She says, how about 3 pounds? And she says, well, okay. And he went to the store and he got 3 pounds of ground meat. And in the final analysis, one thing Hank realized, and what Hank did not do, is he didn't say to his wife Bertha, I think you mismanaged the ground meat, the 1 pound of ground meat. He didn't do that because he realized that it didn't go as far. They needed more. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Moudry. Anybody else? Commissioner Barnes.
Be real quick. Just want to wish the commissioners leaving the best of luck. Thanks for your service and your time and your knowledge. So good luck.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, I'm going to say a couple words, and I'll try to be brief because we've been all sappy all night. So, when I decided to run for chair a couple of years ago, my thoughts were, do I have what it takes? Do I know enough? And going through those thoughts, you always have, doubts when you're stepping into a new role. And so I thought about it and I said, well, you know what? I don't know everything. I don't know nearly as much as some of these guys and gals. I said, but I don't need to because they do. And my hope and my desire and the reason I ran was ran for the chair was hopefully we could improve in our relationships with each other and dealing with the issues of the county. And I think we've done that. But we've done it because of you, everyone sitting around here. And, and obviously haven't agreed on everything. And we've had some very heated discussions during Financial Stability Work Group, but that's okay. They were also, beneficial in the end. But I want to thank you. For those of you who are leaving, you are going to be missed. And I appreciate everything that you've done for the county. I appreciate what you've done for me and teaching me by your example and your leadership and how to carry and sit in this chair. So thank you for that. Also, I want to bring up we're going to have pictures. So let's do that as quick as possible. So we're going to have a group picture. And then we are going to have some very delightful desserts in the back room for staff employees. Barbara brought in some great pies. But I also want to thank staff. When Connie's right, we did make the best decision ever by hiring her. So, so one of the things that we wanted to accomplish and we thought was lacking here at the county was transparency and open communication. And Connie has brought that in spades, and that we really appreciate. That was part of the thing that she emphasized when she came to the table and we had that interview. I think she's done that with all of us here on the board with the open information that she's given us, and I believe she's done it with the employees here as well and improved things dramatically. I know things are going to be tough because of the financial situation and stressful. And then her staff, Ben Dawson, Logan Bailey, Claudine Williams, excuse me, and Melissa Ballard, I'm sorry, Melissa. They are under a lot of stress. They are doing Omen's work. I'm telling you, their heads are just above water. And it pains me. I wish we could give them more staff. But obviously the budget just doesn't allow that, and they know that too. So I thank you guys immensely, and I see the struggles you guys go through and the pain, and I hope we can keep it together because you guys are a tremendous team. So thank you very much for all the work you guys are doing. So with that, we're going to move on. We have unfinished business?
None.
Okay. We have any old business?
None.
Do we have any new business?
Yes, we have to approve the meetings, or the minutes from this meeting and the minutes from all of the committee meetings. So if we could take a brief recess for the clerk to complete the minutes, come back in, is that?
She was teeing up the so moved.
You're teeing up?
She was teeing it up.
The committee minutes.
Committee minutes can be passed separately. Individually? Yes.
How much time would you?
So if you want to, if you've reviewed the minutes and each committee, somebody wants to move them.
Oh.
You want to move yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Support.
So moved.
Ryan, what in the hell? I'm waiting all night.
I know.
Okay, we will reset, or any questions, comments?
I'm just moving my committee.
Just Health and Human Services?
Health and Human Services.
Oh, you're not moving all
So
the
you can-
committees? Oh, okay.
Well,
That's fine. Whatever.
Okay,
good, vote.
moved by Commissioner Lotzenheiser, supported by Commissioner Augustine. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. So then next up, we'll do
Drosha?
The road.
IT with Commissioner Drosham.
I would move the IT minutes from December the 4th.
Moved by Commissioner Drosham, supported by Commissioner Haskell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next up, what do we have?
Commissioner Barnes with Public Safety?
Public Safety with
Yes, I would
Commissioner
move public safety minutes from December 5th.
Moved by Commissioner Barnes, supported by Commissioner Toomey. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have up Public Works and Planning with Commissioner Rogers.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Rogers, supported by Commissioner Lawson-Heiser. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have up Ways and Means with Commissioner Mulder. Moved by Commissioner Mulder, supported by Commissioner Augustine. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now the full board for Deb.
The only thing I would, can your motion be to approve both the closed session and the regular meeting minutes?
Well, we also had a special.
Not the minutes.
We already approved the special meeting at the December meeting. Okay.
I still support whatever.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because I trust him so much.
Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now, do we need to,
Now if we can take a recess for the clerk
We take a
to,
picture while we do the recess.
yes,
do we
that
need a
would be
motion
great.
for that or no?
No, you can just.
We're going to take a short recess. Thank you. All right. Okay, if you would take your seats, we're ready to reconvene. All right, now we're going to approve the this evening's board minutes.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Augustine, supported by Commissioner Haskell. Any comments, questions? You need another minute, or are we good? All right. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, we have limited public comment. If anyone would like to address the board, please approach the podium. And this is the last one for 2024.
Good evening, everyone. Doug Lloyd, your Eaton County Prosecutor. Couple of things. First off, I wanted to, I don't know if congratulation is the right word, but maybe it is because you actually get to leave. But the 6 members that are leaving, I know during this last year that we have had tense moments together trying to figure out a way for this board to move forward. But I would like to say that going back to Mr. Brayler, to Mr. Mulder, I dealt with you when I was just an assistant prosecutor running the economic crime unit, and I respected you at that time just as I respect you now. Terrence, obviously, we have known each other since, came in about the same time as elected officials, have felt the same pains, and we have agreed a lot more than we've ever disagreed. And so I enjoy that as well. Obviously, I can't forget Brian because, Brian likes to sit there and, make you just want to laugh. And so it just happens. And Ms. Rogers, your hugs are always the best. I will miss them. I can only hope that someone will step up and attempt to make me feel as good as you do when I enter this room. So I felt I needed to say that. As an elected official, you needed to hear that from me, that I have the utmost respect for everything that you've done. And while we may have disagreed and had our arguments, in my opinion, they were always done for the betterment of this county. And so that was the end result that I think all of us were attempting to get to. And so if I did anything wrong or if I was inappropriate to any of you who are leaving, just to those of you who are leaving, then I apologize. Because the rest of you, I'll see next month. And I think it was interesting, both Chris Anderson, my chief assistant, and I were here tonight. And we're here because our office's name is on this ballot proposal. And so that means something to us. And so I want to make it very clear to all of you that, well, first off, I'm just going to say we don't mismanage our money. We don't get enough of it to mismanage. Most of it goes to employee costs, and in reality, my employees are tired. They don't have enough employees working here to do the job they need to do. But be that as it may, they are tired. They do need help. And so we are here to answer any of the questions that you have. What is it as the board you need from us in order for you to get this message out? Because let's be frank, absentee ballots go out the end of March. That's where we're at. Merry Christmas. We're not 3 full months until absentee ballots are going to go out. I believe March 22nd will be the date. And so whatever answers you need as a new board, and I'm speaking to those of you who will be here, those of you who are sitting in the audience who will be here in the next couple of days, ask. Let's get the questions answered. Let's come up with the decisions we need to make as to where we are going to move forward. Because we can't help you, we can't speak. And Jeannie, I live right down the street from you. If there's people who don't understand public safety, well, I'd be really surprised because those residents expect Delta Township Sheriff's Department to show up. But the reality is they're the Sheriff's Department. And so I would say to all of you who will be here in January, let's talk, let's communicate, because the time is clicking for us to get this done. I believe this is what the people want. Joe, totally agree with you and Terrence. I know that that's my Christmas present to you is the last thing I can say is that I agree with both of you. It's going to be a rough hoe. But, you know, I think, you know, I support Chairman Mott that it can be done as long as the messaging is correct. So let us work with you to do that. And on that note, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Prosecutor Lord. Anybody else would like to approach the board? Commissioner Toomey?
I guess if I need to offer a point of clarification, I don't mean mismanagement by any of department heads or staff here. I know they work very hard. Maybe mismanagement was a bad word to use. I purely mean to say that over the past decades of looking back at decisions that some commissioners, that not all of you are even still here, I do not agree with them, and I'd like to see those being different going forward. That is purely what I meant by that statement. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else would like to approach the board? I do want to read, I should have done this in the first public comment, but I do want to read a comment. Mary Clark texted me earlier today, and she asked that our comments be read. So I'm going to, we've already had the vote, but anyway, I'm going to read it anyways. So, as a proud 46-year resident of Eaton County, I thank you for considering a public safety millage, and I urge you to vote to move forward. It is critical for Eaton County residents to live in a community with a commitment to public safety. Additionally, businesses and future economic development requires a community with public safety. While I am the elected clerk in Delta Township, I'm speaking from a personal perspective, not as a township board representative. Thank you, Mary. So with that, if there's no other public comment, we are adjourned until Thursday, January 2nd, 2025.